What is up everybody, it is me DevilNeverCry, and of course we're back with the daily DMC content. For those of you who don't know, I cover anything and everything DMC on this channel, so subscribe if you want to stay up to date. With that said though, today we're going to be taking a look at the DMC prequel book, Before the Nightmare. The first 50 pages have been released as sort of a preview, where they've recently been translated by the DMC5 Info Twitter account. So shout out to those guys for all the hard work they've done. I believe they've only translated half of the preview, with the second half soon to follow. But even in the first half of the preview, there is plenty to discuss. Of course, for brevity's sake, I'll only be focusing on a few key points. However, if you want to read the entirety of what's been translated so far, I'll leave a link in the description. With that said and done, let's dive right in. First and foremost, we get a clearer look at the DMC timeline. The book confirms that the Fortuna incident, aka DMC4, took place 5 years before the events of DMC5. The preview then goes on to describe Fortuna as one of the most antiquated and potentially secluded parts of the DMC world. We know this because there was a news reporter, which the book describes, who went to investigate the events that occurred during DMC4. However, considering he was an outsider, he was shunned away. Even Nero, who was meant to be his inside contact point, eventually turned him away because he was trying to dig too deep. It seems like the citizens of Fortuna are trying to move on from what happened, which makes sense considering it must have been a quite traumatic incident for any normal citizen who was living there and part of that so-called Order of the Sword cult. We also come to find out that Nico attempted to do some snooping of her own around Fortuna, likely drawn in by the rumors of demons floating around the city, and of course the giant white demonic statue that just appeared in the air. However, considering how far she stood out from everybody else, she was quickly turned away and shunned as well. The meeting between the washed-up reporter and Nico ends with him handing over Nero's name so that Nico can go and search him out in her own time. I'm assuming because she wants to get more information on the Order of the Sword and all kinds of demonic experiments that they were running. And in terms of having a concrete translation, that's all we have for now, unfortunately. There are a few other bootleg translations going about on the internet that make mention, of course, of Nero and Nico meeting, of confirming that Nico is Agnus's daughter, of her fixing the Red Queen in return for the Order of the Sword's docks, all that kind of jazz. But considering the translations aren't, 100% accurate, we don't know the legitimacy of them, I'll probably leave that for another video when we have a better translation. But if and when we do get a better translation, I'll be sure to cover that so you won't miss out. With that said and done though, it's been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you next video.